Let me ask you a question. Do you love or hate Ventures in Save the World? Because with that line drawn in the sand, most players stand firmly on one side or the other. And here's the funny part. The reason people hate Ventures are literally the exact same reasons why others absolutely love it. So, whatever your reasons are, love it or hate it, Ventures isn't going anywhere. But here's the thing, I've got the loadout that will carry you through every single Ventures season. It doesn't matter what the seasonal modifiers are. It doesn't matter what weapons drop. The build just works. I'm Lyrics X, and I present to you my Fun Guy loadout. With this Fun Guy, you can literally turn your brain off and let him do everything for you, making the Ventures grind just a little more spectacular. So, Madcap dropped on August 8th, 2024, and he instantly became my most used loadout in Save the World. Not because he's overpowered, but because he's the laziest hero in the entire game. Daily V-Buck missions? Duh. Daily quest? Easy. Any power level rescue the survivor or destroy the encampment missions all just turn into a stroll in the park. And the best part, once you supercharge him, he goes from being your everyday lazy carry to being fully viable in the endgame 160s too. But I'll be honest, there are better builds for the 160 missions. Let's get into the loadout. Madcap's ability gives Teddy a unique twist. Every time Teddy attacks a new target, it creates a spore cloud, and that cloud applies affliction damage, which, as we all know, is extremely strong. And it slows enemies by 50% for 4 seconds. Right away, we've got automatic crowd control built into Teddy. Ooh, and here's where the magic happens. The Synergy with Jilly Teacup. Her perk gives Teddy a 100% crit chance against a new target, plus a 5% chance to malfunction. When Teddy malfunctions, it instantly switches to a new target after every single shot. And you know what that means, baby. Every new target is another spore cloud, another crit, and another wave of crowd control. Instead of one spore cloud here and there, you're chaining them constantly, locking down groups of husks, melting mobs, and letting Teddy do all the heavy lifting while you basically sit back and watch. Now, to really keep that loop going, we need to boost Teddy's damage. The faster Teddy kills a husk, the faster it can target another, and the faster we can spawn the next spore cloud. That's where Trailblazer AC comes in, a founder's reskin of Trailblazer Quinn. Their Berserker support perk increases Teddy's damage by 30%, and you stack that with Gumshoe's Pressing Charges support perk, which adds another 30% to fragment ability damage. And, just to be clear, Outlanders use fragment charges to deploy Teddy and shock towers, so this combo directly amplifies both the damage and the loop efficiency. Next, we add Enforcer Grizzly and his support perk Bear With Me, which extends Teddy's duration by 4 seconds. And when we combine that with the Happy Holidays team perk, we can bring Teddy's default cooldown all the way down to just 16 seconds. And trust me, we're gonna push that cooldown to only 6 seconds, but before I show you how, let me tell you a quick story. When I first created this build over a year ago, I ran Hybrid in the last support slot. His perk increases affliction duration by 34%, which adds almost 2 extra seconds to the spore cloud, and gives you 2 full affliction ticks on weapon damage. Solid perk, right? Well, that's what I thought too. Then my friend Zach wanted to try the build, but he didn't own Hybrid, so he slotted in Fragment Flurry Jess instead. Her perk gives you an extra fragment every 39 kills. Honestly, at first I thought, well, that doesn't sound very strong. But here's what I didn't realize. Having fragments reduces the cooldown of fragment abilities like Teddy for 10 seconds. Normally, you can collect fragments scattered around the map, but once you use them up, you're back to the default cooldown of 16 seconds. However, with Fragment Flurry Jess though, you're constantly regenerating fragments through kills, making it almost impossible to ever run out. So, while I was sitting there relying on Hybrid's extra affliction ticks, Zach was spamming Teddy's non-stop. every fragment shaving 10 seconds off the timer. After seeing how many more teddies he had compared to me, I instantly swapped Hybrid out for Fragment Flurry Jess, and I've never looked back. So, I've got 3 clips on your screen right now. I ran all of them in the same mission as a control so that you can see the difference side by side. The clip in the middle is my Fun Guy build. It's got the highest damage output with the 6-second cooldown. The clip on the left is my original build using Hybrid. The damage wasn't terrible and the Spore Cloud lasted longer. However, with no way to regenerate fragments, you're stuck with the brutal 16-second cooldown before Teddy can redeploy. And that really kills this build. And finally, for this video, I tested a third build. The clip on the right, I swapped out one of the damage heroes so that it has Hybrid plus Fragment Flurry Jess. As expected, it had the lowest raw damage, but with longer Spore Clouds and a 6-second cooldown. So I actually found it second best, better than my original Hybrid setup. In this game, there are many variables when calculating numbers. It's not as black and white as some make it out to be. But at the end of the day, in this particular scenario, the numbers don't lie. My Fun Guy build just outshines everything else. Each Venture season lasts 2.5 months, and there are 5 of them cycling each year. Right now, we're in the Hexylvania season, where the active modifier is short range. That means enemies close to a player or defender take more damage, while those farther away take less. On top of that, every enemy has a chance to drop a healing pickup when eliminated. Now, the description doesn't mention anything about abilities, but here's the important part. Abilities aren't affected by this modifier. So, Madcap's Teddy deals the exact same damage no matter how far away the enemy is. Short range, long range, it doesn't matter. This Teddy doesn't care. You know, another thing to keep in mind is that abilities scale with your Venture's level. That means the higher you climb, the stronger Teddy naturally becomes, which really lessens the importance of having God-tier weapons. So, honestly, just slot in whatever weapon you find that feels the strongest at that time, and keep swapping it out as you discover better drops, because no matter what you're holding, your Madcap Teddy will never fall behind. Another big downfall of Ventures is farming. Nobody, and I mean nobody, who plays as a ninja, soldier, or constructor wants to stop mid-mission to smack a tree or rock just to scrape together enough mats to build a defense. It literally kills the flow. But here's where Madcap shines again. He's an Outlander. That means you can farm on the go with anti-material charge. And you've also got the Loot Llama class perk to crack open llama fragments for even more resources. Plus, with Keen Sense from In the Zone class perk, you can literally see containers through walls, which makes Venture's treasure hunting challenges a breeze. And since we're talking about challenges, Madcap also makes some of the most annoying ones, like pickaxe eliminations, way easier. Pro tip, just smack or shoot the husk once with whatever weapon the challenge wants. Then, let Teddy finish the job. He does all the dirty work and you get all the credit. Madcap also specializes in rescuing survivors. Here's another pro tip. Survivors that spawn on RVs or cars have to survive for 45 seconds before you can interact with them. Normally, Husk can't reach the survivor, so they just attack the vehicle until it's destroyed. But here's the trick. If you give the Husk a path to the survivor without destroying the vehicle, the survivor becomes completely immune to damage. There's actually another way to make these survivors immortal, using the Xenon bow. The trick is to aim right at their feet and tap fire, meaning don't charge the shot at all. That tiny nudge will knock them safely off the vehicle, and once they're on the ground, the Husks now have a path to them. But since the vehicle isn't destroyed, the survivor becomes completely immune to the Husks' damage. Now, I know a lot of players say that Venture's rewards aren't worth it, but I disagree. Every season is loaded with superchargers, which are huge for helping newish players progress faster, and for pushing endgame players closer to max level. If you don't already have Fortnite DB bookmarked, do yourself a favor and do so ASAP. The link is in the description below. I'm Lyrics X, and with the new Venture season just released, I wanted to show you my favorite Ventures build. One that literally works in any Venture season. As my loadout catalog grows, I'll start tailoring builds to the current seasonal modifiers. For example, this season's short range modifier really favors melee setups like my Divine Knight Pele Luna build. Just look at all these pickups from a single wave using an underpowered epic crappy weapon. Just imagine if it was a good weapon. A link to my Divine Knight Pele Luna build is in the description below. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. As a reward for your dedication, there are 2 Fort Nightmare heroes on your screen right now. Beetle Jess and Mermonster Ken. Cast your votes in the comment and the winner will become my next loadout video. And don't forget to like the video. It takes you less than a second and it helps me out greatly. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that button so that you don't miss any of my creative builds in the future. Thank you.